Welcome to another episode of Discover St. Cloud, Florida. I'm Krista McCary, and I'm here with your host,
Janine Corcoran, broker for Corcoran Connect, a real estate company.
It is that time for the market report.
I know. I can't believe it's already
May.
It's crazy. It's craziness.
So how was April overall as a whole? How did it feel for you?
It felt slow.
Slower.
Taking a lot longer to sell properties, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Staying on the market longer.
Okay. Well, let's dive into it. So let's go ahead and go over what happened in 34769.
So 34769 on singles family homes. I'm going to say single stories. Okay. We had actually single stories. We had 16 that sold and 3 were 2 stories in 34769. The average price per square foot overall was $235.44. On the single stories, it was at $242.80, and on the 2 stories, it was $196.16.
Okay. That's awesome. And so overall, month over month, you're still up 2.96%. And year over year, you're up 8.16%. It took about 12 days to go to contract and 55 days to close in 34769. And if you look at your active supply versus what sold last month, you have about a 2.3 month supply in 34769.
Oh, wow.
Which is crazy because that's still low.
Yeah.
That's still low inventory, but it just feels like it's taking longer.
A lot longer.
To get things to go to contract.
And not all, you always have that, like the one you
The sweet spot. Yeah.
If you're in the sweet spot, then it doesn't take long.
Yeah.
So then in 34771, the most busiest zip code, we had 78 homes that sold. Of that, 44 of them were single stories and 34 of them were 2 stories. Of the single stories, they sold at $234.38 price per square foot, and 2 stories, $190.71.
And so overall, your price per square foot was $215.34. That's down 6.19% from last month, from March, and down 6.12% since April of 2022.
Oh, wow.
So they had a little bit shift. Again, that's 34771 is one of the more challenging zip codes. I think like 34773 because we also have a lot of new construction. So builders, I feel like, can make bigger changes.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. The median days to contract was 30 and days to close were 64. Now, point to note in there, in 34771, we only use the resale data versus new construction because sometimes those numbers, when they're recorded in the MLS, will be like negative 224 days, and that doesn't count. So
excuse the numbers.
Yep, exactly. So it takes about a month to get under contract, about 2 months to close in the 34771 zip code. And with the number of sales that you had last month and what's currently active, and again, this doesn't include all of the builder inventory, just whatever they have listed in the MLS, you're looking at about 2.9 months supply.
Wow. Interesting. Then we have 34772, and we had 45 houses that sold. Of that, single stories were 32 of them. Price per square foot was $228.20. 2 stories, we had 13 of them, and that came in at $178.95 price per square foot.
That's awesome. So overall, $213.97 per square foot, and you're looking at a month-over-month decrease of about 1.3%, and then year-over-year a decrease of 2.64%. Days to close here were actually 20 days to contract, and then 52 days to close. And then with the current level of inventory that we have on the market, they're at 2.4 months supply.
That's craziness. Crazy. Okay, so then we move on to 34773. We had only 10 homes that sold. 8 of them were single stories at $222.95 price per square foot. And then 2 stories, we only had 2 at $176.33, a total of average $213.62 price per square foot. How's that look?
So month over month, that's down about 6.58%. But year over year, it's up 10.26%.
Okay.
So that's, again, it's another one of those things. And then days to contract on your resale homes are about 30 days to contract and then 50 days to close.
So days to contract, for those who hadn't seen the podcast before.
Days to contract are just basically how long it takes you to get a contract that will take you to closing. It's 30 days to get under contract and then 50 days to close total. And then your total in 34773, our total month supply is actually 4.5% or 4.5 months.
Oh, in 373?
Yeah. In 34773, we have a 4.5 month supply.
Because it's taking so long for things to sell out there.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. All right. And then last but not least, not last but not least, but we also have vacant land. So what do we have in vacant land? I think there were 17 that were sold.
Yep, 17 that was sold. It looks like the highest one that sold was on Narcousie Road, and that was $4.55 million.
That's crazy.
And that was on what was the street that it was on? It was Narcousie.
Sunset?
Yes, Narcousie and Sunset. So if you're traveling north going into Lake Nona, it's on your left-hand side, and it's right before East Lake Reserve.
Right.
And that was 21
acres.
That's crazy.
And both of us were like, where's 21 acres on Narcousie Road?
Yeah, because that's right in our neck of the woods. I
Right.
mean, I thought it was going to be the other corner by Jack Brack, but it said Sunset. So interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy. But anyway, so that's a big parcel there. And then one other big parcel, it was like just under 5 acres, 1.5 million on Leon Tyson Road,
Right.
also down that corridor. So that's crazy. I didn't realize that there was still land left.
I know.
And then I guess now truly, last but not least, what happened in Harmony?
We actually, in regular Harmony, original Harmony, there were only 3 sales.
Sounds about right.
And you know what? They were all my sales.
Were they?
Yeah, all of them. Anyhow, we had 2 in Ashley Park. We had 1 resale on Dark Sky. And then the rest of the sales were in Harmony West. So in Harmony West, we had 9 sales, a total of 9. And then we had single stories, 7 of them. It came in at $222.22 price per square foot. And then other 2 stories, it was $176.33 price per square foot. We couldn't even do the price per square foot on Harmony because it was only one resale. And that came in at $228.06.
Yeah.
It was a single story.
Yeah.
The other ones were... one was a townhouse and one was a condo.
Right. So it's hard to make comparisons because there's nothing to average.
No,
the average of 1 is 1. That's
so
crazy.
not much going on in Harmony, Maine.
Right.
It's been a little bit quiet though.
Right. It has been. But I think we have quite a few pending right now because I remember when I came on with my listing on Beargrass, there were a few that were on at the same time that were all seemed to be under
I
contract.
wonder if we
now.
should talk about the pendings, like, when we do the report.
Right. It's a whole nother data set.
Yeah, that's true.
That's great listen, it's good to know because, it kind of gives us an idea of what we can look forward to for the next month in terms of closings and stuff like that. But it'll be cute, it'll be good. We'll find out what happens in May when we see you in June.
That's right.
For that market report. But kind of crazy times right now.
It is.
Interesting to see.
It's interesting times.
Yeah.
It's just a very interesting market.
Yep, it really is. It feels one way. The numbers say a different thing.
Yeah.
The
numbers kind of say like sellers put your house on the market, it flies off like in the springtime, but
right.
that's not happening. And
right.
prices have decreased.
Right.
In some
and
areas.
just slightly,
Yeah.
we're not talking crazy. And if you think about it, even the year over year numbers we're comparing to April of 2022, which is right when we closed on this house. And, that's right when interest rates started to take off. And so I feel like it's, it's not like you're comparing it to, the year before or whatever. That was kind of like the top end of like things where you were still getting 25 offers in one weekend for a
now
home.
the Fed's raised the rates again, but that they said that's it for the rest of the year. Supposedly, I don't know what to believe.
Right. Well, it's so funny. I saw this little clip the other day, and I'll see if I can find it again. But it was basically a newscast on interest rates in the 80s. And when people were talking about, it's 18%, but what am I going to do? I got to live in the city. I got to, I got to move for work. I got to still buy a house or whatever. And so I was like, man, that's a really great attitude. But then they broke down their 18% payment and it was like, I pay $472 a month.
Yeah, but it was all relevant to what you were getting paid back then.
Regardless, I was like, okay, that's crazy. But, anyway, so the good attitude to have. I think people had it in the 80s, and you still see it now. When you've got to move, you got to move, right?
Yep, you got to move.
Yep. If you have an expanding family, you got to buy a bigger house. If you got to relocate for a job or family member, whatever. So anyway, the market still churns.
That's right.
Things are still going strong, and according to the numbers, we still have a really low supply. So I think things will continue to stay kind of where they are right now, and we'll see how the summer pans out. But thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Discover St. Cloud, Florida. Don't forget, you can find us on any of your favorite podcast platforms. You can also check us out online.
You can use it YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all over.
Yep. If you ever have any comments, questions, if you want a price on your home, maybe you're one of those people that need to move, go ahead and give us a call at
1-844 St. Cloud. That's STCLOUD.
And you can email us at discoverstcloud@gmail.com. And we will see you in the next episode.